Peace and blessings. What's going on, Life Warrior? How are you doing? Welcome back to Monday Message. I am really excited to dive into the quote for today, which is an amazing quote by Oprah, and I feel like every role model, every teacher, every guru, every inspirational, influential person I've ever looked up to or read up on or studied their work has said something like this. So I think that this is a really important quote. So Oprah says, surround yourself with only people who are going to lift you higher. Surround yourself only with people who are going to lift you higher. You know, in yoga, association and good association, right association is very much an important part of the process. Who we hang out with is imperative and indicative of where we will end up in our future, or if we will always stay stuck in our past. You ever notice how, like, when you hang out with your family or like your old high school friends, and you find yourself sort of picking up their lingo and their attitude, their personality, and you start talking like them again. And we've all been there in high school, middle school, elementary school. You know, we hang out with our friends and we come home and our parents are like, you sound like so-and-so person. You don't sound like you. You're getting infiltrated by other people's personalities and what other people think are cool and trendy. And so this just goes to show how highly influenced we are by others and why it is so important that we have good association. If you want your life to elevate, if you want your life to grow, if you want your life to expand and be happy, you have to have at least in your close inner friend circle, you have to have those people in your life who are also headed in that direction or already living in that place that you want to be. If you are trying to get ahead in your life with people only who are from your past and who can only identify you as who you were in the past, and they can't see your future or hold your future in vision for you or encourage you towards that future, or maybe they don't believe in that future, you're always going to stay stuck in that place. We have to have friends in our lives who lift us higher. And that means friends who believe in us, who encourage us, who are our biggest fans and our biggest cheerleaders, our friends who will pick us up when we're down, but also our friends who will be honest with us and give us that feedback and that insight that is helpful in motivating our growth, right? And so I'm gonna just, ask that you evaluate your friends and your close inner circle of friends, not your socializing, like you go out and there's all the other people, but like, who are your closest friends, your closest 5 friends maybe, and ask yourself, do they uplift you, right? Do they keep you where they are, or do they pull you back? Because those are really your 3 options in the friend category, or friends who encourage you forward, or friends who just keep you where you are because that's comfortable, or friends who really pull you back into places that you feel like you've outgrown or you wanted to outgrow. So evaluate the friends that you have and kind of just, put a label on each friend. Like, this one pulls me forward, this one keeps me where I'm at, and this one definitely pulls me back. And, you don't have to get rid of all your friends. I'm not saying that you just break up these friendships. But be mindful of how you spend time with them and the quality of time that you spend with these people. And, it's not that you want to just get rid of it completely. I mean, some people in our lives are really toxic and they only ever hold us back. And we probably should evaluate kind of getting rid of those relationships out of our lives. But really what I'm speaking of is adding into your life, hanging out with people that will rub off on you in a way that benefits your growth, that benefits your confidence, that benefits your openness, that benefits your evolution. You want to hang out with people who are ahead of you, as well as have your peers who are on that path with you. Right? Both of those types of friends are really, really important. But the key thing here is what Oprah is saying is you should only surround yourself with people who will lift you higher. So you have to hang with folks who are already aligned with, or already living, or already pursuing a vision that is part of your future. If you have friends who only perpetuate your past identity, like they're still there in that world of who you used to be, you want to spend less and less time with those people. I'm not saying you just cut them off, or that you all of a sudden dislike them, or that you're better than them. I'm not saying that at all. It's just where you put your energy. Do you invest it in relationships that grow you, or do you invest it in relationships that keep you stuck, or even worse, pull you back? So you need friends who are a part of your future identity, right? So let's just say, for example, you want to be a professional yoga teacher. You might want to get some friends who are already professional yoga teachers. Maybe you want to be an amazing influencer and speaker. Well, you might benefit from hanging out with people who are already pursuing that, or that's also their vision, or they've done it, right? Or let's say you want to make 10 times more money than what you already do. It would benefit you to hang out with people who are either already there, or people who are also striving to get there, or people who are holding that vision for their future as well. You know, if you're holding a vision for yourself in your future, and your friends around you, they don't quite fit into that vision, whether you don't see them in that vision or they don't see themselves in that vision, that's really something to question. Again, I'm not saying that you just cut all ties. What I'm saying is that your quality time, and the time that you spend investing in your growth and your well-being and your unfoldment, should be spent more with people who are in alignment with that vision, or in alignment with that growth, or people who are going to cheer you on like nobody else as you chase those dreams. Association is so powerful, and so I share that with you so that you consider the activities that you're doing and the people that you're associating with, your 5 closest friends and the people that you spend most of your time with. Are they uplifting you? Are they cheering on your growth? Are they supporting your growth? Do they strengthen your ability to grow? Or are these the people that are either going to just keep you coasting where you are, or worse, the ones that really pull you back? So take some time. I have some action steps that I want to encourage you to do. Forgive me for looking at my notes today. Number 1, I want you to define and envision your future self. Like, my future self is somebody who practices yoga twice a day, is meditating twice a day, and is living in more and more harmony with nature, spending more and more time outside and less time inside. So let's just say that that's my future vision for myself. Oh, and I want to go like 90% green on my diet. Let's just say that that's my future identity. Now, in order to move in that direction, I'm really going to have to make sure that my social circle and my close inner circle supports that vision that I have. Because can you imagine if I was trying to change my diet and get healthier, but everybody in my house still was eating the same and still cooking all the foods that I love to eat that aren't serving me anymore? That's going to be a really hard mountain to climb. As opposed to, say I all of a sudden just got a bunch of roommates in who were super into raw food and meditated all the time, and they were doing yoga all the time, and they were reading their spiritual books all the time. Now, if I lived in that environment, my probability of achieving that future identity has now just increased exponentially. Are you following what I'm saying? It's really important that you start paying attention to who you are spending time with and how much quality time you're giving that person, and what kind of impact that relationship may be having on your life. Okay, so number 1, define, at least just have some kind of connection of your future self that you want to grow into. You want to be filthy rich. You gotta start hanging out with people who have money, and stop hanging out with your broke ass friends who are always stuck in the victim mode and think that poverty is just their lot in life. You will never get rich if you are hanging out with a bunch of people who have poverty mentality. It's very unlikely. It's not impossible. There are always exceptions to the rules, but man, is that a hard mountain to climb. If you hung out with a bunch of friends who were progressing with their abundance, who were building their businesses and making more money and 10xing their lives and their income, that's going to rub off on you. It is going to rub off on you, and you're going to get picked up by that wind a little bit, and you're going to find some motivation under you. Okay, so define and envision your future self first and foremost. Number 1. Number 2, define the qualities that you want or that you need in your friends that will somehow support you in getting to that future self. So if you want to become healthier, you need to write down qualities that you're looking for in friends. You just start to pay attention to like, what are the qualities I'm looking for in my friends? And it doesn't mean that all your friends are going to meet the criteria, but as you hold that vision and you become aware of it, you'll notice as you start to get aligned inside of you with what you need to envision for yourself, the universe begins to respond, and it starts sending people who are very aligned with you and the trajectory that you're headed towards. And then number 3, evaluate your current friend circle. Just evaluate it. This is not about judgment or condemning people for where they're at on their journey. That's not what this is about. It's not about, oh, I'm better than them and I'm trying to go even further, so I gotta cut that cord. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not about looking down on somebody else and looking up to somebody else. It's about just being really aware of where we're at on our journey, and if the people around us can support that chapter of our journey that we're in. And your friends and your family may not be able to support you because they haven't got to that part of their journey yet, and that's okay. You can still love them and love on them and be loved by them. But you are going to need to add into that equation people who are already living that life dream, that life vision, that life goal, because you're gonna need that inspiration. You're gonna need to feel like it's tangible, like it's real, and it's not just something that other people do. You gotta have those direct life experiences and know that that it's available to you too. And listen, I'll end here. When we bridge the gap between the distance of what we want and what we have, let's just say I want a big house on the beach. So that gap is pretty far right now, right? I don't have a nice big house on the beach, and it seems like a really far away dream. But maybe I start hanging out with friends who have a nice house on the beach. Ooh, I just bridge that gap a little bit more. Maybe I rent some Airbnb or whatever with some friends. We rent this big fancy beach house and we hang out for a week. I just bridge that gap even more, right? And I'm doing it with friends who also have that vision. Bridge that gap even more. And I start going to workshops and conferences that are all about how to make more money and grow my business and save money and invest money so that I can eventually buy a house, and I'm hanging out with other people who want to do that too. Bridge that gap even more. Then you got close friends who that's just the life they live. You hang out with them and you just rub all up into that good vibe and that lifestyle, and you've bridged the gap, and now that dream and that vision is much closer. So evaluate your circle of friends, evaluate where you spend your time, who you're spending your time with, and if they are supporting your vision and if they are able to cheer you on. Only spend your quality time with people who will lift you higher. Thank you for tuning in to this Monday message. It's such an honor to be with you. Please hit the like button if you like this video, and don't hesitate to share it with a friend who you think could use some upliftment in their own lives as well. All right, Life Warrior, keep your heads up high and your heart open wide, and go out there and live that life you know you deserve to live. Namaste.